Hello and welcome into our BTN studios here in Chicago. I'm Lentz here with this Big Ten's wrestling report. As usual, we'll get you caught up to date with the conference standings as a chunk of Big Ten teams continue throughout what we call a grind of the Big Ten season. In Iowa, Penn State, and Michigan hold the 1, 2, 3 spots in the conference with undefeated Big Ten records. Indiana is off to one of their best seasons in recent memory, climbing 4 spots to 16 in the national rankings. The Hoosiers head to the Mitt this weekend to face the Spartans on Friday, followed by the Wolverines on Sunday afternoon. And to provide more insight into the recent success of the Indiana program, we are now joined by Nate Jackson, the junior Hoosier from Bloomington, Indiana. Nate, this team has reached a lot of success of recent so far this season. So explain, what's been a difference maker this year for your team?
Honestly, I think it's just the culture. I guess it starts with the coaches and then the captains, me, Garrett Goldman, kind of just setting the tone for the younger guys, and they've bought into it really well. And it's been a pretty smooth transition for them, and it's been a really fun year.
Speaking of some of the underclassmen of this team, with the amount of underclassmen that are earning starting positions in the lineup, what does that create in regards to the team chemistry or even culture or personality?
Honestly, I think most of the older guys who either had a spot and lost their spot, or the guys who just have been on the program are rooting for these young guys. We've seen the little transition between high school and college, and you know they've taken their beatings, but they're ready now, and that's kind of something to look forward to for the future of IU and for the present.
You individually had a huge upset win against Penn State's Bo Nickel earlier this season. Where does that rank in regards to your career, and how have you taken that victory and moved that forward?
First and foremost, I just give all glory to God. Without God, I wouldn't have it. And honestly, that's been my biggest win, I think, of my wrestling career. I've never beaten a #1 ranked guy at this level, so that was pretty huge, but building off it is just important. It's just as important as the match. If I would have lost, I would have the same mindset as I have now, working toward getting better for Big Tens and then NCAAs, and I'm honestly trying to reach the top of the podium this year.
You mentioned how you offer a skill set that some wrestlers across the conference and nation have not seen before. If I'm an opponent, what difficulty am I going to have when I face you on a match?
Well, I'm going to wrestle hard for 7 minutes. That's the first thing. I'm a pretty long guy. Most guys are about 5'10", maybe 6 feet. I'm around 6'3". I like to think that I'm just as quick as any 125-pounder out there. And I think that creates some unique obstacles for my opponents, and I like to use it to my advantage.
We all know the conference Big Ten season, dual season, is extremely difficult to go through, and especially when you're on the road. So this weekend, looking ahead to Michigan State and Michigan, what are going to be key factors to come out of that 2-0?
Personally, I love wrestling on the road. It's always fun to silence that raucous crowd. So the key to victory is just keeping it simple, doing the things that the coaches have been telling us, and just, getting into our spots and wrestling hard. It's the same mat, it's the same size, so we just have to be competitive, and they're going to give us their best shot. They're trying to get a Big Ten win here, and they better be ready for us, because we've been rising to the occasion this year for sure.
We appreciate the time that you've taken for us here at BTN, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Big weekend of wrestling ahead. It all starts Friday with Indiana at Michigan State, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on BTN. As you can see, several other duels are available streaming online through BTN Plus on BTN To Go. Saturday, you can see the top team in action as Penn State heads to 14th ranked Illinois. That's live at 4 p.m. Eastern. And you can catch Purdue, Minnesota, and Iowa, Nebraska streaming online through BTN Plus on BTN To Go. And if you're on Twitter, make sure to follow us and tweet us at Wrestling on BTN. I'm Lentz, and that's going to do it for this week's Big Ten Wrestling Report.